dude, Shane is like straight gangster.
Damn, it feels good to be a gangster.
Welcome down to Winds of Change, fellow dazzlers and new players alike. What is going on? I just happened to hit the record button and the lady was singing. So I just had to roll along with it. So Razzle Joestar here bringing you the next part of Winds of Change. Act 3 dropped this past Saturday the 15th. Now, as I've seen in the patch notes, there's no voice acting, so you get to hear more of my tremendous, lovely Winds of Change voices. But yeah, Act 3 finally dropped in its entirety, so we are going to just start getting through this. For those of you who came in late, once again, you can check the little tag up there, or card up there, to jump back to the previous video. But last time we bebopped around Mazeo, we headed down to the mayor's house where we had to choose between two pirate factions, Nada or Alex. We decided to roll with Alex because he didn't want to carve up Mazeo as if it was Berlin. History jokes. But he only offers a small percentage of the pirates, but I kind of like it still better. And we see Sylvie and crew getting closer to us. And it seems like Sylvie has convinced Shane that Dominic doesn't like him and betrayed him. And then we finally got to the Rebel HQ, toured around that place, and we saw a very concerning flash. Where we, all of a sudden, the vision, part of our vision from episode 2 flashed in front of us. So that's a little concerning, but I believe that's the main real bread and butter of what happened last time. So without any further ado, attune your ears to the grinding gears and let's get going, shall we? Alright, here we go. So I was doing some bebopping around in my off time, kind of just going around seeing if there's anything I could find. So here we are in Rebel HQ. A lovely, lovely place. We have to head to the war table to get things going, though, so let's finally... No! That's not the war table. I don't want to listen to Valessa and Pro talk to each other. Or watch. Alright, this is it. We finally can go to the war table and begin Destiny. Warning. Moving to the war table will initiate Act 3. Act 3 is a long series of cutscenes with no side content. Ooh, please make sure you have sufficient time set aside to watch them. Also, ensure you're happy with the amount of content you've completed. As you progress through the game, some content will become permanently missable. Please be absolutely certain that you're ready to view Act 3 before. I'm pretty sure it's saying, like, hey, if you missed any of the banter conversations, or parallel chronicles, or books, or any side conversations, to be ready. But I'm ready. Let's do it, guys. Continue. This is what we've been waiting for. Look at the little war table, are so cute. I enter the war room and see Dominic standing over the table. He's moving wooden figures from place to place, forming a strategy. I guess this was my first time seeing him in action. It was impressive. I'm glad you came, Razzle. He talks to me while he works, displaying grace and lack of effort. It's almost like this is second nature for him. What was he planning? I notice a map on the table with figures scattered about different regions. So, tomorrow we'll begin your training with the Blade of Exodus, but in addition to that, we'll have to train you in swordplay as well. I think Ulrich should be free. I can't really think of a better teacher. He eyes the scabbard on my back and the base of the sword. I think the more you use it, the more you tolerate it. If you're like me, you got overwhelmed the moment you touched it. It's about adapting. Self-exposure will help you become stronger. Pretty much would agree with that. It's probably a lot to take in, you know, your inner spirits are probably just like, woo, going crazy, you know. It's crazy. It's like my friend Joshua, who found out he can create save points. But we're also in a rush, so I've worked out a schedule for you. It balances both exposure therapy as well as combat training. There's a bit of free time in there too. You'll be needing it. He points to a paper resting on the wooden table. I pick it up and start to inspect the contents. It's a detailed itinerary. I'm impressed. Now there's one more thing. The spirit idol we discovered is right down there. It's a bit of a walk, so I'll have to show it to you later. He points to a small exit in the back of the room. It almost looks like the entrance to a cave. It stands out. They must have dug a large portion of this room. It's also where I chose to bury Solus, our former leader. I guess I can be sentimental when it comes to that stuff. It just seems like the right thing to do, you know. Now, let's go over your... Uh-oh. Before he can continue, he's immediately cut off. Pro runs into the room, panting heavily, clearly exerted. But there's a hint of fright and concern on his face, too. Oh, no. We're barely in the Act 3, and it's already falling apart. Dominic, come quick! Pro, what's going on? I'm in the middle of a meeting here. The meeting can wait, Dominic, please. Grizz is here, and he's causing a commotion. What? Alright, let's go. We should probably talk to him, Sia. Razzle, I'm pretty sure I know what he's after. We all nod to one another, and Pro starts leading the way. Whatever was coming our way, I'm sure Dominic could handle it. We run to the atrium to handle the situation as fast as we can. When we arrive, I see Ulrich standing imposingly before Grizz. A good choice. Ulrich could almost fight off anybody, except for Sophie, but... Stand down, Grizz. I only want to see Dominic. We have a deal and it's his turn to deliver. Don't you forget, I'm the reason you're down here. Grizz looks back towards us, noticing our entrance. Please, Ulrich, stand aside. Insubordination isn't your style. He tilts his head back towards Dominic. Ulrich turns and looks, noticing we're here. Saying nothing, he turns around and walks away. He rests his back against the wall and simply watches. It seemed like almost all the tension was cut from the air. The two men in deadlock was a scary sight to behold. Good. Now, Dominic, it's time, unless anybody else wants to challenge me. Dominic takes slow steps forward, cautious not to make sudden movements. Grizz grips the handle of his hammer resting on his back, as if to threaten. Now, Grizz, let's remain calm. I fully intended to hold up my end of the bargain. There's just some important business to take care of. He motions towards me. Yeah, I know, but all the pieces are in place, Dominic. Will you please take me to see it? Dominic shuffles in place, anxious. I suppose I can rearrange my schedule a bit, so if it appears like I was going back on my word. I'll accept that apology when you take me to the idol. I'm sure you understand. I'm past the point of buying time. And make sure you bring that new friend of yours as well. Oh, so it was the idol he wanted. And from the way he spoke, he wanted me as well. Of course, this is all likely related to the Blade of Exodus. Very well. Dominic simply concedes without contest. Of course, before he can move, there's an interruption. Another interruption? Being a rebel is a busy life. It was always something. Yeah, that's what it seems like. However, this something was far bigger than any of us imagined. Dominic looks in shock as a young man slowly enters the room. With heavy, labored steps, they appear to be weak and tired. Oh, it's Shane! Shane, you're back! Dominic runs forward and Grizz steps back. He seems to understand what was going on, too. Shane had come back from his trip to Balteas? Dominic... Shane, I can't believe this. I was so worried we lost you. Everyone watches in awe. Did they hurt you? Are you okay? Do you need anything? Pro, grab some water, quick. No, Dominic, I'm fine. Don't worry about it, Pro. Pro stops in his tracks upon hearing this. If anything, it just looked like Shane needed some rest. I'm sorry, Dominic. For what? Don't be silly, Shane. I'm the one who should be apologizing here. It was foolish of me to send you into danger like that. Shane steps forward and wraps his arms around Dominic. Everyone seems so relieved and all the tension is gone. Even Grizz cracks a smile as he watches this happy reunion. But Shane takes advantage of our lowered guard. Reaching into his pocket, he pulls out a dagger. Before any of us can react, the damage is done. Dominic screams and stumbles back in shock. Shane was fast. His abdomen was covered in wounds. Oh, no, dude. I mean, pardon my French, but dude, he's straight, dude, Street Fighter style. I've heard of that happening in, like, street fights, where, like, you get people who walk up to you, or, like, and it's, like, people try to, like, mug you, and they're like, oh, can I have some change? And when your guard is down, they just, like, close in, whip out a dagger, and just start going at your abdomen, like... He shakes, blood spilling on the floor at an alarming rate. Troop morale has fallen to 50%, oh my god. So things outside of our control, it would make sense. Things outside of our control can lower morale. Shane! Ulrich is the first to react and he tries to restrain Shane. Dude, I would freaking, all calling all stations, man. I would skewer that son of a bitch immediately. Like, pardon my French again, but well, I mean, I guess he really believes Sophie. It's no use. He's far too agile to be caught. Shane, what have you done? He doesn't respond and grabs a bow and some arrows from a nearby weapon stand. All of us are panicking, not sure what to do. Could Ulrich take Shane alone? With a few moments, though, in the absolute least of our worries. I think I misread that. Sophie, now! Immediately after, Sophie enters the room from the entrance to the tunnels. There's a man in a white suit of armor with him, too, like the honor guard. What was he doing here? This was definitely coordinated. We're in trouble. Sometimes I wish it wouldn't be so easy. Look, Halen, the suits of armor are still alive. All the time in the world, and they didn't even act. Pitiful. They both look at all the honor guard in the atrium. Minding their own business, they just stumble around. There's a lot, but they pose no real threat to anybody. Sophie steps forward, looking at all of us. Ulrich grips his blade and stands in the way. Leave. Or else what? I'll kill you. So dramatic, Ulrich. You've certainly grown. What was that bravado? 500 years ago? Ulrich growls and grits his teeth, easily provoked. All of us are locked in place, too scared to move. You're outnumbered. Don't test me. If Dominic dies, we'll find another leader. You've done no real damage to us, Sophie. Is that so? Sophie grins and raises one of his hands in the air. With a dramatic snap of his fingers, I stumble back. The blade is reacting and trembling. What's going on? There's a quick flash of white light. Wait, I know this feeling. From my vision of Valinor when he animated those suits of armor. Can he truly manipulate the blade without even touching it? He can. All hell breaks loose before I can even start to process these events. The honor guard grab their blades and start massacring the rebels. With a simple snap of his fingers, he sent them all into a murderous rage. All I can hear is screams of agony as our forces are caught off guard. Bodies start to litter the floor while other rebels grab weapons and fight. Grizz runs forward and grabs Dominic's body, slowly dragging it away. Grazel, come with me. Let the rebels keep the enemy occupied. I have an idea, but you need to do as I say. I nod and follow after him. I'm still not able to process anything. How would the rebellion recover from this? Within minutes, all the rebels were killed. Jesus. This is heavy. Sorry, I had to send Clace my regards for this heavy drama we've been seeing so far. This isn't how things were supposed to happen. I look down at Domic's body, and it's motionless. A trail of blood follows me as Grizz and we flee the area. Well, because it's multiple people, so. But before we can leave the atrium, Shane notices the trail. I feel a sharp pain in my chest and suddenly drop to the floor. I can't move. I look down and notice an arrow protruding from my torso. Jesus. He shot me in the back. That's all I can take before everything fades away. However, with just what just happened, I'm certain of one simple fact. The rebellion is no more. Troop morale has fallen to 25%. Jesus. I know I've been saying that a lot, but man. Like, I knew something was gonna go down, but that, like, everything just fell apart. Like, I knew things were gonna happen, because Pro's Journal kind of, like, hinted that, you know, things were gonna go down, but, like, this was worse than what I thought. I was, like, pretty much certain that, you know, the suits of armor were being used and all these other things, but, like, I didn't, like, just, wow, I just expected sneak attack. Oh, we're attacked by the armor. I didn't expect me to get shot and Dominic to get stabbed straight gangster style. Like, dang, dude. Shane just prison shanked the poor guy. Members of the Honor Guard rush past them to carry out their brutal objective. When they arrive, a horror awaits them. It's clear the rebellion has lost. Oh no! Ulrich, what's going on? Ulrich is locked in combat with Sophie, violently swinging his sword, but Sophie dodges with ease, swaying his body from side to side. When he gets a chance, he lands a harsh punch on Ulrich's chest. Falling back, Ulrich is brought to his knees. He pants heavily, trembling as he races back up. I don't hide behind a sword like you and you will see it. Now tell me, Ulrich, how does it feel to lose to me? To see everything around you crumble and fall? He laughs, that maniacal cackle echoing through the halls. Perhaps now you regret changing sides. Never. This isn't over, Sophie. Stand back, both of you. He waves his arm decisively at Valessa and Fortam. However, it was already too late. The honor guard is closing in on them. Ulrich turns and tries to help them, but a blow to the back of his head knocks him down. Where the hell is Pro? They can only watch through blurred vision as the honor guard overpowers them. Screams assault his ears, and they are slowly silenced. Had they been killed too? You better not have killed my boyfriend, or I'm going to be very upset. He scans the room trying to find Pro, but he can't. Perhaps he's among the bodies. Sylvie steps over and kicks Ulrich in the gut, causing him to grunt and fall over. A few moments later, he kneels down and stares at Ulrich straight in the eyes. You thought you had everything under control. Abandon Valanov, gather your forces, and attack Voltaeus. It would work, if we didn't have you in our grip the entire time. All we wanted was to destroy Mazeo's spirit idol, Ulrich. The final idol in all of ALESTIA. The sickness almost cured. I know what you're thinking, though. The vision in Valanov? The seer saw only what the Triumvirate wanted him to see. A trick to lure every single one of you down here. It worked. After I kill you, the seer's life and blade will be... I was right.
They played us like a damn fiddle!
I mean, I wasn't right about this, the vision, but, like, I guess in a way I was, because, rewind to the first episode, at the vision ends, you can say something to Sophie, and I'm like, I don't want to make us seem too haughty about, like, how we have a strategy, because it's like, what if multiple people can see the, at the time I didn't know about the Triumvirate and all that, so I was just thinking about Sophie. I'm like, what if Sophie can see the vision as well, like a two-way connection? But I guess it went further than that, and it was just a completely fabricated vision. That's... I don't know what to make of that. I never thought of fake vision. Well, I mean, we're not sure if it's a fake vision, but someone was able to tap into that vision and use it to their advantage. May the triumvirate reign eternal. Shane and Halen now approach Sophie, leaving Ulrich to look up at all three. Sophie holds a hand out to Shane, who gives him his dagger without hesitation, pressing it up against Ulrich's throat. Sophie pauses, savoring the fear in his eyes. I'd ask if you had any last words, but you don't deserve the satisfaction. Not so fast! Everybody quickly turns a look as Pro runs in from the tunnels, and today is Matthew Pettypaw's birthday, according to Facebook. He pans heavily, having clearly run a large amount. He smirks. Alex, do it now. A few moments later, an army of pirates floods in from the tunnels. Okay. Sophie, Halen, and Shane quickly become defensive, trying to fan them off. There was enough now that they stood a chance. The targets were clear. Using a commotion as cover, Pro rushes to Ulrich's side. He helps him get to his feet as he finally returns to his sentences. Where's everybody else? Vlessa, Fortem, the Seer? Ulrich looks down at the floor, ashamed. It's too late. He places a hand on Ulrich's shoulder. Shaking his head, he knows that Ulrich is wrong. It's never too late. Come on, let's take them down. They won't get away with this. They can't. Ulrich smiles and nods, and quickly rushes into combat. Things were starting to turn around. They were no longer outnumbered. Sophie, however, uses his commotion to sneak deeper underground. While everyone was distracted, his objective was clear. Oh, this is crazy. Grizz carries me and Dominic into the room behind the war table. The massive spirit idol glows and radiates energy. It's beautiful. Through my faded vision, it only appears more surreal and odd. He carries me to one side of the room and rests me down. I notice that the arrow on my chest is gone and replaced with bloodied wrappings. He must have treated me during the time... No. During the time I just lost. But what about Dominic? He must have not hit anything vital then. What a lucky seer. There's some supplies back in the crew quarters. I was able to treat your wound. No vital areas were harmed. It's almost like he did that on purpose, unless you got really lucky. He sighs and looks back at Dominic, who had rested down on the other side. But he wasn't lucky. I'm sorry, Seer. He's gone. Oh. No. They killed Dominic? Dominic can't be dead. But we can still fix this. This is what I've been wanting all along. A chance to tap into that idol's power. He looks at the blade on my back. Reaching behind my shoulder, he undoes the scabbard. It falls to the ground. He closes his eyes and takes a deep breath. Please, let me take your blade. This is the deal I made with Dominic. To free the spirits from those suits of armor. I look at him, confused. Pain courses through my body and I tremble. I grab the scabbard and hold it lightly in my hands. Please, there isn't much time. 20 years ago, I led the occupation with Sophie. The people I killed are trapped in those suits of armor. If you give me the blade, I can use the power of that idol. I'll release the spirits. I'll give them the freedom they deserve. I need to do this. The only way I can make up for what I did. And without the honor guard, this battle is won. Your allies can easily fight against Sophie and his men. There's still a chance we win here. We need to take it. He looks down at the floor and his ears fall flat. I know why I recognized you and your friends back in my office. During the occupation, there were people I killed that looked just like you. I was just following orders. Trust me, I regret what I did. All of it. Wait, does he mean... Your parents. They're in Museo during the occupation, right? It's more than a coincidence. This must be happening for a reason. They aren't dead, Seer. They're trapped in those suits of armor. I noticed a glisten of tears forming in his eyes. Sent there by me. Let me free them, Seer. It's what they want. It's what they all want. My grip on the scabbard tightens. He killed our parents? I can tell he's truly sorry, but this is just too much to take in. The pain in my chest gets more intense and I wince. Here, I've got you. He wraps one arm around me, slowly helping me to my feet. Together, we take slow steps across the room towards the idol. I look at Domic's body in the corner of my eye, still and lifeless. I stopped serving the triumvirate the moment I got the chance. Being forced to live in those suits, forced to wear their clothes, nobody should have to suffer such a fate. We can fix this. As I get closer to the idol, the earth starts to shake. There's a massive reaction coming from my blade. Grizz holds me tighter as the tremors get more intense. I picked up some information when I served the triumvirate. The blade has the ability to spend its power to its will. It all depends on what the wielder wants it to do. They want power, so it gets them an army. We want freedom, so that's what we'll have. Please, sir, let me do this. That's all I ask. Each step we take causes emotion to well up with me. This is all too much. It's all happening too fast. What do I do? I know it'll kill me, but I've come to terms with that. It's a fitting punishment considering what I've done. We reach the idol and I'm almost blinded by its light. I can understand that Grizz wants his redemption, but his crimes against the world and our families were awful. I could always tap into the power of the idol myself. How would less than 14 feel if I sided with Grizz? Some crimes aren't forgivable. Is this one of them? So, I'm pretty sure this is another choice, but... I'm going to invoke Cruel Mercy and have you live with what you did for the rest of your life. I'm pretty sure I just went up in corruption, but... That and this is my destiny of the fate, so... I couldn't let him do this. My reasons were my own. I shake my head and hold the blade closer to my body. He sighs and looks down at the floor, defeated. Very well. He lets go of me and I start to stumble. I use the scabbard as a cane to hold myself up. I can tell he's angry, but that he understands. Besides, you don't need to kill yourself and sacrifice yourself in order to help us. I think, honestly, too, like, yeah, I'm invoking Cruel Mercy, but now that I think about it, too, leaving him alive, he has to deal with what he did for the rest of his life, so him dying is just the easy way out, in my opinion. If he really wants to help us, if he really wants to make up for what he did, he'll help us win this war. That's what I feel, anyways. Turning around, he starts to walk away, his shoulders slumped down. This was my job, this was my destiny, to harness this blade. I couldn't let others use it to assist in their suicide. Turning to face the idol, I slowly removed the blade from the scabbard. Remembering Grizz's insight, I tried to bend the blade to my will. This time, it wouldn't overpower me, it would help me save us all from this massacre. The flash of white light that I expected is nowhere to be found. I can hold the blade with no trouble, just like I desired. So it was true. The blade is mine to control? With a wide smirk, I hold the blade up to the idol. It was time to destroy all of the honor guard in these tunnels. It was time to free the souls of all the condemned, our parents too. That desire in my mind sparks the blade, and white light fills the room. But there's another desire too, the survival of Domic and our future victory. The ground shakes more violently, almost causing me to fall to the floor. But I stand my ground. This screen should be shaking while this happens, just saying. This was too important. The survival of the rebellion and ALESTIA's future was on the line. I'm too overcome with hope to falter as the white light slowly subsides. The idol starts to flicker like it's running out of power. Did I do it? There's only one way to find out. I put the scabbard back on, but hold on to the sword. I'm in control of it now. There should be like some like really cool special effects going on right now. Because this is what I refer to like as the, you know, you ever play Zelda, right? You play A Link to the Past, and you know, you have to get the Master Sword to help win the day. And so you have to grab, you have to get these like 3 magic pendants, you get to the Master Sword, and there's this really epic scene where like Link draws the Master Sword and holds it above his head, and you get this really epic sound and like music. And as the music climaxes, you hear the climaxes, the screen starts getting brighter and brighter as like the power is coming out, and Link pulls out the sword just as the music hits the high and shink and holds it up, and I'm just like, this needs to be blow me away. This is the moment where the seer draws the Master Sword, at least in my opinion, as far as what I understand now. Like, this needs to be as epic as that, in my opinion. If you really want to go all in with this, Clay, is just like, there's still time. Make this the moment where we draw the Master Sword and we go, yes! Because it's already there in a text. Now just sell it to us with some fancy graphics and music, and we'll just be like, oh yeah. Unless this isn't really our drawing the Master Sword moment, and I'm just... But, hey, I stand there using the blade as a crutch, with the ground shaking so violently it's hard to stand up. I'll need to go back to the atrium. They need to know about this. No! What have you done? Sophie charges into the room, catching me completely off guard. He stands there, panting, looking at the idol and how it flickers. With a grunt of rage, he starts running at me, ready to attack. Because of the trembling earth, however, he stumbles a bit. I use this to my advantage and jump out of the way. Landing with a quick roll, I'm back on my feet. We circle around each other, both hesitant to attack. I hold out the blade as if to threaten him. There's so much you don't know. He smirks and lunges forward to attack me. I hold out the blade, guard myself, but I'm not sure what happens next. With a snap of his fingers, mid-lunge, the blade suddenly vanishes from my hands. A few moments later, it rematerializes in his. I don't have much time to brace myself, it's already too late. Moments later, I'm on the floor with Sophie atop me. So he can wield it. Apparently this is Kingdom Hearts too, because he can just take control of the sword. So I'm assuming it's whoever has more power, more dominance, basically, is the one who gets the blade. The more dominant person becomes the blade master, which is something I was kind of thinking about. So, basically, you have to be the Dominus of the Megadeus for you few Big O fans in there. But I think it's different in Big O because your big the giant robot's the main character uses to fight. There's more bigs. There's Big O and there's Big Duo and Big Foul, and it's implied in the series that bigs aren't just mindless automatons. It's especially evident because Roger talks to Big O frequently, like in their fights. He treats it as if it's a living entity almost, to an extent. So it's possible for bigs to reject their dominus, that is, their controller, the person trying to pilot them. And there's different reasons why. I think it's essentially the person piloting a big has to have a good reason for why he's doing what he's doing. Like, Roger wants to protect the city, then the pilot of Big Duo, Schwarzwald, is a villain, but he wants to use his big to show people the truth of Paradigm City, whatever that is. Then you have Big Foul, and that goes like way into spoiler territory for the anime. And you should watch it, it's pretty cool. It's a mech anime, but it's done in a very like film noir style. It's really great, and it has the best driving music ever. Anyways, enough about me drawing relations to other shows. Gripping the blade in one hand, he uses the other to punch me. Repeatedly in my chest, causing the wound to open more and bleed. I kick and scream in agony, trying my best to withstand his harsh blows. He's smart. Soon enough, the pain is too much to fight back. I can only squirm and wince underneath him, enduring the assault. The cavern starts to crumble and pieces fall from the ceiling. There's no one in here to save you, you fool. Your life is mine, and the rebellion is no more. Smirking, he lowers the blade to my neck. With the triumphant reign eternal. I use all my strength to reach up and grab the blade. Trying to push it away, I realize there's almost no point. But soon after, the blade reacts to both of our touches. Another flash of white light engulfs the room. The pressure is relieved from my neck, and I hear Sophie struggle. Just like Grizz said, the blade reacts to the will of the wielder. But whose will was stronger? I raise up my other hand to grab the blade as well. I close my eyes and focus with every fiber of my being. Spirit, please do something. Save me. Save us all. The light subsides, and I see Sylvie looking down at me in shock. I can see the horror in his eyes, but I have no idea what just happened. Perhaps the blade gave him visions like it did for me back in Valinor. He panics and throws the blade on the ground. So it is true. The spirit realm is... Slowly standing up, he takes a few steps back. Looking down at my eye, I can see sadness with him. So many conflicting emotions, all in the span of a few seconds. He scoffs and turns back to me. Remember my mercy, Seer. Next time, you won't be so lucky. To my complete shock, he simply runs away. I tilt my head to the side and watch him leave. The blade rests beside me, so I reach for it. What the heck? But any hope of salvation is quickly lost. It's over. As soon as Sylvie leaves the room, it starts to cave in. Rubble and debris block the exit, leaving me trapped inside. I look over at Domic's lifeless body and start to cry. My wound bleeds profusely and my vision slowly wanes. With my final moments, I grip the blade and pray for help, but before I slip away into the nothingness, that help never comes. Oh. Is that it? Game over? Ulrich and Pro stand back to back, destroying the honor guard with ease. The pirates, on the other hand, keep Shane and Halen occupied. They're starting to come back from this. They could survive. Another one down. Come on, Ulrich, pick up the pace. If you lose, you'll never hear the end of it. Ulrich takes down 4 suits of armor with one swing of his sword. Oh, we're keeping count? Then I think Alex and his crew are winning, but at least we know who Domic chose. Look over at Alex, who fights off Halen and Shane. He's an accurate sportsman, one of the most impressive in the world. 1 month later, him and his crew have the enemy surrounded. Halen and Shane pant heavily, worn out from the intense fight. But they look around at the fallen honor guard, realizing they are outnumbered. The initial strike was devastating, but the rebellion was slowly bouncing back. Where is Sovi? I think he's gone to the idol. Then that means... Before he can finish talking, the guard's ground starts to shake. Everyone is caught off guard, stumbling around. It does. Shane, retreat. But Sovi... He'll catch up later. Let's not do anything stupid. Shane nods and they start to run away. They're a corner near the tunnel, so it's an easy escape. Ulrich and Sovi... I think it's supposed to say Ulrich and Pro. What should we do? Should we chase after them, Ulrich? No, let them go. We can't risk being led into another trap. They hit us too hard. We need to mitigate the damage. They nod and back down. We're a team now. We're here to help. If there's anything you need us to do, just say it. We owe Dominic everything. He changed Moseo's future. Thank you, Alex. I have a feeling there's a lot of work to do, but before that, let's take care of the honor guard. Roger that. They all turn to face the suits of armor, but they're shocked. The honor guard remains perfectly still, not moving an inch. They continue shaking the ground, causes them to fall over. Hitting the ground, they shatter into pieces like an army of glass. A bright flash of white light emanates from the crew quarters. Along with that, the earth trembles with more intensity. What's going on? Must have something to do with the idol. But they said Sophie was down there. I think I saw Grizz carry Dominic and the Seer down there. Sophie wouldn't want that to happen. This happens, so that means... They're still alive? They must be. Come on, let's go. Alex, man to tumbles. You got it. They start running towards the war room, but don't make it very far. Ulrich stops in his tracks as he notices movement in the corner of his eyes. Veless and Fortame, they were moving. They must have survived. Wait, hold on, Pro, look. Ulrich points. They both make their way over to Veless and Fortame. Crouching down, Pro offers his hand to Veless and Ulrich to Fortame. They help them get to their feet, and they look shaken and traumatized. How did you all survive that? He was totally convinced you died. I can't believe your luck. I'm surprised. They both look at the ground, almost as if they're ashamed. I thought they were going to kill us, but they didn't. I really don't know what happened. They didn't attack us. They pushed us to the ground. Almost like they wanted us to stay out of harm's way. Yeah, we wouldn't have stood a chance in combat. I don't know why they wanted to help, but they did. I think I know why. Never mind. I kind of think I have an idea, but... She quickly changes the subject. Where's the Seer? Ulrich, take us to him. Right, of course. It must be by the spirit idol. Dominic 2. Dominic 2, it's not that far. Follow me. Deciding not to question Providence, they all follow Ulrich. In a time like this, it is best not to doubt your blessings. However, Valessa remains a few paces behind, thinking, Mom, Dad, thank you. Aww. This is like super feels of change. Super feels of change, like extra edition. My vision slowly fades back in, much to my surprise. I've been on the verge of death for what seemed like an eternity. I'm strong, my will and the power inside me refuse to give in. Oh man, I'm reading this right now, and there's somebody in the chat for this, and someone says, "Damn, it feels good to be a gangster, Shanester." Pain radiates from the wound in my chest, but I'm almost getting used to it. Sophie's attempts to make it more fatal clearly failed, or did they? I remember the thought I had in my mind the moment I faded away. I wanted to be saved, to make it through this alive. Could the blade have that much power? Could it have saved me? I backed myself up against a wall and lay against it, then I scanned the room. Wait, what's that? A hulking shadow is on the other side of the room, whispering to itself. But Dominick's body is still on the floor. Who could it be? I look at the exit to the room. It's still caved in. Impossible. There's no one else in the room with us. Their ears perk up. They must hear my movements. Quickly turning to face me, they take heavy, slow steps. Stumbling from side to side, it's almost like they can't balance. I can't see their face, my vision is too blurry, but when they make it to my location, they kneel down. While normally I'd be frightened, I seem to feel at ease. Who the heck are you? They reach forward and place a hand on my chest. I hadn't realized it, but in my confusion, the pain had stopped. Or was it even there to begin with? Maybe I just felt it in my head. They let go and shake their head dismissively. A flicker of light from the dying idol illuminates their face, and I see them. I ask who they are, but get no straight answer. Gaze into the abyss after a lifelong journey and plead. Beg for the answer to your most undying question and tell me what frightened you most, being left in silence or hearing an answer. I don't understand, and I shake my head. The pursuit of an answer is more defining than the answer itself, for no truth can compare to the truth we've conjured in our head. Hearing an answer may rob us of our purpose. We prefer silence. But sometimes the silence can be maddening. We can convince ourselves that purpose is not important. Self-destructive. Purpose breeds strength and victory. We desire victory. He stands up and holds out his hand. I grab it and he pulls me to my feet. This is the first time I truly see him. He's covered in scars from head to toe. Is he like some kind of warrior or something? Almost as if he's endured torture or something far worse. Tattoos adorn his arm, much like those on Ulrich's body. Who was this? We need no name. A name defines an individual. We are many, and therefore cannot be defined. This body is merely a tool. It bends to our will. What the heck? We know how confused you are. It was always the same. Come with me. There's much we need to do. Dominick, right? That's the name of your leader. He turns around and looks at Dominick's body. You said that name in your sleep. You called out to him, but only we responded. He lives. We took care of that while you slept. He's alive? I look over and watch his chest move up and down. He's breathing. I'm almost in disbelief at this. What happened? We will tell you both. There's much to discuss. With the exit cut off, we have sufficient time. A funny concept time, perhaps another day. We walk over to Dominick and he takes slow steps again. His limbs appear stiff as if they've been unused for a long time. I kneel down and shake Dominick softly, placing my hand on his shoulder. He should have been awake by now. His wounds were grievous. He was saved. We were limited, but we did what the heck are you? What are you, a construct? Rise. He says this in a demanding tone, and Dominick starts to move. His eyes slowly open. And I say that because if you've ever played Mortal Kombat and the newer ones, and you've seen Ermac is essentially a construction of souls made by the Emperor Shao Kahn. And so he refers to himself, well, they refer to themselves in the plural. So it's not, I will do this, it's we will do this. We will find out this thing. We will do this, we will do that. This does not concern us, so it's like they refer to themselves in the plural. So it's interesting because it makes sense. We are legion for we are many, I think it's how the quote goes. He says this of course I don't want to compare Ermac and this guy to demons, but just the first quote that came to my mind. Solus, am I dead? What's going on? I laugh softly and tell him he's not dead. Is that who I think it is? But he seems to confused me with Solace. Solace? Wait. His eyes are fixated on the mystery man as he says the name. I take a few steps back, confused and scared at the same time. How are you alive? How am I alive? This isn't right. Solace, the name of this vessel, he no longer lives. Do not use this name. As we said before, no name is required. He's not a construct, he's a... We simply exist. Dominic and I look at one another, utterly confused. I'm lost, okay? I don't understand. The man points to the center of the room. You will have a seat. You may be satisfied or perhaps not. We have some answers, but not all of them. I reach down and help Dominic up. He grunts. There are no wounds on his abdomen. There's nothing. This would require some serious explanation and fast. I take Dominic over to the center of the room and we sit down. The other man, however, walks over to the exit and inspects it. Trapped as always. Do you trust your comrades? We think they are your only hope. If they survived, yes. He walks over to our location and sits down. I guess all we could do was wait to get rescued. The Rebel HQ is full of digging tools after all. You will ask, and we may answer. He sits in silence and waits for us to make our next move. Who are you? The idol is no more. Its energy was released. It may still glow, but will soon go dim, lifeless. Energy must be stored somewhere, less wasteful. Much of it went to that sword you carry. Some of it was used to heal your wounds. The rest, well, we found a vessel to you. Oh. So I was right. He's a construct. Like, well, I mean, a construct is not the right term, because a construct is an artificial being made. So he's basically not really reanimated. Yeah, in a sense, he's a reanimated corpse that has spirits inside him. He's an Exodus almost, in a sense. Yeah. For those of you following the Major Minor playthrough, tune in Mondays. We'll find out what Exodus is later than I would like. But a vessel. This body expired long ago. It offered no resistance and no identity. We thought it would be fitting. We desired a voice. Who's we? We are what you call the spirit realm. Until now, our power was only stored in objects. That in vessels which had no own voice, like you. He looks at me. So let me get this straight. The power released from the idol healed us, and it took over Solace's body so it could talk. Correct. So I'm talking to the spirit realm right now. A portion. The rest resides in his body and the sword. However, the spirit realm is just a term you created to define us. We are more than that, and we finally have a voice in your world. Dominic gulps, getting a little frightened. Are you peaceful? That is a relative term. Are you going to hurt us? No. What is your purpose? An impossible question. Do you know your purpose? This guy's just slinging out armor-piercing questions. No, I guess not. When you wish to aid you, please do not question. It would please us greatly to see the triumvirate fall. We are the victims, just as much as you are, Dominic. Victims? You do not know the truth of what we are. It is understandable, because we could never tell. Using this voice, we wish to make our suffering known. And using this body, we wish to enact our vengeance. If this is acceptable, we will join you after rescue. If rescue comes, that is. Until then, we talk. Dominic nods. He's taken this very well, actually. After all, he's talking to the corpse of his former leader. But a strategist needs to adopt the change and overcome it. Or maybe he's just numb for the trauma of these events. Of course, but you need to explain. What's the truth of the spirit realm? Were we so wrong that you needed a voice? We do not blame you for your interpretation. Given your situation, it made perfect sense. But yes, you were wrong. Very wrong. Me and Dominic look at each other once more. I'd never believe this if we didn't just cheat death. But given the circumstances, we can't deny the truth. This was a living embodiment of the spirit realm. Much like the idols, but able to walk and talk as well. If that was the case, there are no more secrets. He would tell us everything about the spirit realm. The undying questions of our history finally answered. What is their purpose and why do they influence us? The answers would change everything forever. But I want the answers. Eventually ending up in the war room, everyone looks around frantically. It wasn't much longer until he noticed the back corner of the room was the The back corner of the room was caved in. Rather than judge the current events, they searched for Dominic and Nasir. Don't see down there with the idol. Can we even get down there? Go back to the crew quarters for Tim. You too, Valessa. Bring us some equipment. We should be able to reach them if we dig. Of course. What should we look for? Pickaxes, shovels, stuff like that. Anything to help us get through the rubble. Right. They both ran off in search of supplies. It was clear the tunnels were caved in, but how bad was it? They clung to the hope that everybody survived. Are you sure you don't want to join them? Shouldn't you have some sort of protection? No, everything will be fine. Alex and his forces are on guard. Nobody else will be coming or going. Then what about Sophie? Do you think he's down there? No, he's probably long gone. I didn't see him run off anywhere. We were all in the tunnels, weren't we? That's the point, Pro. You don't see a man like him. He comes and goes as he pleases. Okay. He crosses his arms, both confused and concerned. What should we do while we wait? Are you sure you don't want me to join to help them? I'm certain. We need to talk, Pro. About what? Let's say Dominic did fall in combat. What do we do then? What's our next step? I don't want to think about that. Losing Solace was more than enough. I'm sure he's alive. We'll find him. But what if he's not? We need to think, Pro. Things would be in our hands. Our hands? Yes, we'd be the new leaders. How would he come back from this? I don't know if we can. That's why I sent those two away. I don't think they'd be ready to hear this. There's a very real chance the Seer's dead as well. If that's the case, there's nothing we can do. We'd never be able to win this war conventionally. That blade in their power is all we had, Pro. I don't know, Ulrich. Feels like they're alive. They wouldn't give in so easily. Guess we'll find out. But hope can only carry you so far. After this, we can't leave anything up to chance. That we need to trust in the spirits, right? They showed Dominic a vision of our victory. But they also showed Valenor's destruction. We know that was false. They attacked our HQ instead. Are you saying the spirits were lying? I don't know, Pro. It's too complicated for me to say. But something tells me we can't trust the spirits anymore. If they come out from the tunnel, it'll be as changed men. I'm gonna fast forward the fade out. The mysterious man takes a deep breath before starting to talk. Dominic and I sit forward in awe, almost in disbelief at the situation. The spirit realm was using a vessel to speak directly to us. I'm not sure if we should be honored or terrified. The rulers of this world, the triumvirate, already take up arms against them. This is good. We are unable to do so in our current state. We are trapped. Trapped? It all happened in a blink of an eye. Our glorious monarchy destroyed in an instant. They showed no mercy. They showed nothing. Something happened. Something beyond words. We were simply living life, and then we were not. They forced us to watch them defile our world. I don't understand. Neither do we, but that is what happened. They stole our future and our bodies. We were prisoners, bound by the celestial chains as they had their way with our world. So they didn't create ALESTIA. No, but they created you, the new residents of ALESTIA, built in their image of perfection to counter our corrupt nature. They stole our world and our future, handing it off to you. This is incredible. We do not share the same opinion. No, I mean the story. I can't believe I'm hearing this right now. We always knew there was more to this world. This is why we needed a voice. We've suffered for eternities, unable to speak, forced to watch, and cry for help upon deaf ears. So, they say the triumvirate came and took away the corruption, or interfered on the corruption. Why would this? Well, these aren't the spirits. These are... They're spirits, yes, but it's evident that these spirits aren't just, like, present-day folk. These are people from, like, other times. I have a few questions. Of course. So the spirit realm is more like a prison, and it held you and your people captive. What are these visions you and idols are all about? Almost all of our culture has been built around them, especially Valinor, which is where they see us from. Rumor has it the Triumvirate wanted to destroy the idols. Over time, we were forced to adapt. We changed. The idols are manifestations of our desire to reach out. They gave us the ability, however minimal, to speak to you. The visions you made. Yes, but our power was limited and we were censored, which is why we could never tell you the truth through visions. Whenever we did, the Triumvirate made you see something else. That's what they did this time then. We saw Valinor getting attacked and strategized around that. But it seems like their plan was always to attack us down here. Indeed, which is why we chose not to create another idol. Instead, we chose to influence their members of their honor guard, the barracks, the living quarters, the weapons. We did it all for you. Okay. We did it so you would survive this trap and help us seek vengeance. It seems the cost was dire, but we succeeded. We will succeed again. We wish to aid your assault on Balteus and take back our homeland. So you come from Balteus. We lived all over ALESTIA, but Balteus was our capital. The castle there housed the monarch, our king, our queen. We may have been corrupt, but we lived in peace. We were happy. What do you mean by corrupt? We are not certain. Perhaps there's inherent evil in all of us. The triumvirate deemed that a flaw, and rewrote the world. When your kind was first made, you were mindless slaves, forced to carry out the triumvirate's bidding, no free will. That is a gift we gave to you through the idols we created. Slowly, our corruption merged with the purity of your kind. That was the first step. After that, we created seers, beings capable of hearing our plight and leading insurrections. To this day, all have failed. We were not strong enough. Wait, I know where this is going. The man stands up, motioning his arms, suggests we do the same. Dominic and I both do as instructed, dusting ourselves off while looking at him. Yes. That is why we gave this seer all of our power, enough to wield that blade against your creations and our captors. The timing seemed correct. It's a gamble, but with favorable odds. However, there's another matter at hand. There's no more spirit realm. The idols are all gone, and the power resides within us and that blade. The power within you, seer, is immense. You carry on our legacy. So now, I will call what you are. He immediately kneels down and looks at the floor. He wasn't mistaken. It looks like he's swearing fealty. Rightful heir to the throne of the monarchy, my king. I will serve you in this fight to take back the world, and together we will all be free from their grip. King? This beats being village mayor, elder, I'll tell you that. We exchanged glances, confused and shocked. The power inside me made me heir to the throne? Knowing the truth of the spirits was enough, but this? It's too much. I take a few steps back, overwhelmed. How could I possibly be expected to process this? Maybe we should slow down here. We must not. To slow down would be giving them time. They've had enough. We've watched for far too long. The weight of our kind is upon you. Do not let us down. Wherefore I can even react, I hear a sound from the other side of the room. The rubble that blocked the exit started to crumble and fall to the ground. I can hear the harsh impact of a pickaxe. They found us! The man remains knelt on the ground. I tell him to rise. Rise. Instead, giveth me 750 with which to buy some buffalo chicken tenders. And if there's anybody in here that just got that reference, you're amazing. And let me know in the comments. Just say I'm amazing. Don't say I'm amazing unless you actually got the reference. And yeah, because that'd be cheating. He obeys without question, clearly respecting my authority. He considers me his king. I have no idea what to do or say. As you command. All of us turn and look at the exit. It isn't much longer until light pierces through. The final bit of rubble is out of the way and Ulrich emerges. Dominic, we were so worried that... He immediately stops in his tracks, staring at us. It's clear that he's shocked at the sight of Solace. Fortin, Valessa, and Pro enter shortly after. What? Ulrich steps forward, immediately cautious. He looks ready to grab his blade at a moment's notice. He can't understand how his confusion and shock manifests this way. At ease, Ulrich. I'll try my best to explain. Dominic steps forward too, as if to guard both of us. Everybody, let's go back to the atrium. There's much to discuss, and I'll tell you all the truth. He looks over at the mysterious man and simply gulps. Things just got a lot more complicated for all of us. We all enter the atrium, and I notice Ulrich is still visibly shocked and angry. Pro seems the same, however, it's intense. Both of them less intense, both of them recognize Solos. However, Fortin and Valessa do not, so they act as they normally would. Bodies scatter the floor, as well as pieces of white and gold armor. Rebels cry, cradling the bodies of their fallen comrades in their arms. There aren't many people left standing. This is a catastrophic attack. Troop morale is at 0%. Dominic walks over to a nearby staircase and waves over to me and Solace. We follow after him and slowly ascend the stairs. It was time to tell everybody. When we get to the top, he rests his hand on the railing, taking a deep breath. I guess this is it. Where do I even start? He shakes his head before clearing his throat. He had a lot of ground to cover. The noise echoes through the atrium, and the surviving rebels turn to look. Seeing Dominic at the top of the stairs, they gather to listen to the leader. They say mercy is the mark of a great man, but there are no great men in war. We've seen that here today. War is only a game to see how much you can lose before giving up. But trust me, we will never give up. Join me, brothers and sisters. Grab a blade from the floor. Even if it belonged to their honor guard, take that. I prefer that. The triumvirate may think they've crippled our resolve, but no. Each swing of that blade will carry the weight of our fallen comrades behind it. We will use that weight to crush their army and make them pay for this attack. More rebels start to crowd around looking up at Dominic. They have smiles on their faces as they nod along with those words. This inspires them to continue his speech, his morale rising quickly. When the triumvirate looks down on that blade in their final moments, I want them to know that they sealed their own fate. Mark my words, family. The triumvirate shall fall. They will burn for what they've done here today. And in the end, they will beg for the mercy they were too unkind to give to us. We will free this world from their grip and deliver it to the hands of the righteous. Our dynasty will be marked with blood, yes, but theirs was marked with far more. He looks over at Solace and motions for him to step forward. Doing so, a lot of the rebels look shocked, much like Ulrich and Pro. The spirit realm has given us one final blessing, the truth. Standing here before you is not Solace. He has become a vessel. This is the spirit realm embodied, powered by our underground idol. Given by the howls of countless spirits, he seeks vengeance. But he has also brought with him the answers to our every question. No longer shall we live in the dark. We will know the true nature of things. Everyone mumbles amongst themselves, clearly confused. I glance over at Ulrich and Pro, and they seem a bit more calm. As odd as this was, they seem to trust Dominic no matter what. You are not the only victims of the triumvirate's wrath. The spirit realm is not what they believe, not at all. What we cherished and worshipped was a prison. A prison that housed the previous residents of ALESTIA. Residents that were deemed too corrupt for the triumvirate, and they were pushed aside. We were created to serve. The triumvirate did not create our world, but they did create us in their image of perfection. We were pure, and existed only to follow every order. But over time, the previous residents reached out from their prison. Growing in strength, they created what we call the spirit idols. These were used to slowly give our people a gift of free will. Through Pura, we lacked the ability to be ourselves. This was the greatest gift we could have asked for. They opened our eyes, allowing us to fight back. But so far, every insurrection has failed. That is what will change, thanks to this year. He waves me over and I take a few steps forward. The rebels stare at me with hope in their eyes. A perfect counter to the despair I saw earlier. You see, the spirit realm is no more. All of the energy in that realm has found a new home. Some of it is in this vessel, and some of that is in this blade. But the largest portion resides within the seer. This is why he is uniquely capable of wielding the blade. ALESTIA's previous residents, the ancient monarchy, are responsible. They saw a way to help us defeat the triumvirate and took it. But you see, we no longer fight for ourselves. We fight for everybody. But if we lose, both us and the monarchy perish. We cannot let this happen. We're the only people capable of carrying this objective. Don't be another chance. No more seers, no more blades. We will show them that the vision of a pure will is flawed. But in order to do so, I must step down as general. This army is no longer mine to lead. I'm sorry. The new truth changes the world, and our cause. Dominic motions for me to come close. I do so. He smiles. I'm standing right beside him, resting my hands on the banister. I see such a wider range of motions coming from the rebels' faces. As I mentioned, the seer was blessed with this immense power. But what he truly has within is the souls of the monarchy, giving him the strength to use that blade. He is our champion. But he's more than just our champion. He is our king. Oh my god, he's ducting me, king. He is our king, rightful heir to the throne of ALESTIA, our true ruler. By decree of the spirits, we are his to command. All eyes are on me now. I glance over at Vles and Fortum. They're in complete shock and awe at this revelation, but I am too. Without saying anything, I reach back to the blade and pull it out. I look at the rebels and hold the blade up in the air. The beams of light from the surface serve to illuminate its beauty. This elicits righteous applause from the rebels and they cheer me on. Troop morale has risen by 5%. I smile, looking down at my friends and comrades. In this moment, it seems like the hope we had lost had finally returned. There are still lots to take care of, but we knew this wasn't over. If you'll excuse us, we need to make some new plans, but I'll have an itinerary posted in the barracks by the morning. Until then, please do your best to clean up this atrium. And please, bring the bodies down to the spirit idol. It seems only fitting, and there's plenty of room. With that said, you're all dismissed. Thank you. Dominic turns to face me in solace. He smiles, realizing his job done. Well then, back to the war table. We need to talk about our next step. Without a big army, we won't win. And I think I know what to do. Come on, bring your friends too. I'll grab Ulrich and Pro. Let's do this. Something seems different about Dominic. He's not as happy as energetic as he was before, but he seems a lot more confident and resolute. When I get to the bottom of the stairs, Valessa and Fortem appear. I can tell they're overwhelmed, but they also seem happy for me. I always knew you were special, but a king, and no more spirit realm. What's gonna happen? This is so cool, Seer, or I guess I should call you king now. Or maybe monarch? I don't know. It's just so cool. Wait, if I'm the king... I just thought of this right now. I'm the king, and Fortem is my boyfriendo, and provided we don't break up, does that mean we'll have a male queen? How does that work? Like... Right? Like... What? What even? This entire Act 3 is just throwing me a loop. I hope we can work all of this out. Let's go plan our next move with Dominic. I wonder what he has in mind for all of us. I bet it's something amazing. He might not be the leader, but he's still a strategist. We need to make sure that we can come back from this loss. Valessa looks at all the bodies on the atrium floor. It's also covered in blood, likely to stain for a long time. We can't let their deaths be in vain. Like Dominic said, they need to give us strength. The only thing we can do is hope that it's enough. We all arrive back at the war table, taking sighs of relief. Dominic's speech was great. It helped the rebels find hope again, but they need more than words to win the upcoming battle. We need to find a new army, but recruiting Mazaeans would take far too long. We need to take drastic measures and fast. This is where my initial plan comes into play. We use that spiritual energy to create seers. They could see the outcome of every battle, every attack. That doesn't make any sense, Dominic. Visions lied to the king. He's already calling me king. Led us into a trap. The Triumvirate could just do that all over again. I notice he uses my new title. It still feels odd. I'm not sure that's how it works. Beforehand, the spirits came from their prison. This means that Triumvirate could tamper with the outflow. But now, all that is in the hands of the king. There's nothing getting in the way, see what I mean? The power of the spirit realm is now ours to wield, Ulrich. It still doesn't make any sense. The spirit realm isn't what we thought it was, Dominic. It was just a prison. How can that help us tell the future? Before Dominic can respond, Salu steps forward. It was our culture. We all had this ability. It's how the monarchy lived in peace and prosperity. There was no danger left behind, unchecked, no chance. The world was being guided to the one true future. It is not unlike the concept of fate that some believe in. But it is tangible. We knew where we were going, always. That is why the Triumvirate was such a shock to us. An unknowable variable in our future completely mapped out. In a future we completely mapped out. It was too late to adapt. We were already shackled. We slowly learned to lend our foresight to your world. However, we were only strong enough to help one individual. This is the concept you have learned to call the Seer or Seeress. Dominic's theory is sound. There's no longer any interference. The source of this power is now the king, rather than a prison. He can freely give this power to any individual he pleases. Can he give it to himself? We would not recommend this course of action. Every vision he induces would reduce his overall strength. It would whittle away at the monarchy, slowly killing us all. Furthermore, he does not know how to ration this power. He could end up expending almost all of it with a single vision. We would recommend giving a small portion of power to others. Their resources would be infinite, and the monarch would be fine. However, they would be rendered useless after this war. Using the power would be too much for their mind. Useless. They would be unable to think for themselves, or at all. The king could only do this because he grew up with that power, just like a culture. To receive it too late can wreak havoc on the mind. So they just sit around until they died, unless you fed them. There must be another way, just like in front of you. That energy we used could bring back the forces we lost. We create more vessels for the monarchy, more soldiers. Ulrich was right, there was more than one choice here. It wouldn't be right to condemn our people to a zombie-like existence. And if their minds died out after the war, they'd have no victory to enjoy. We would not advise this action. We can barely maintain this form. The wounds that end at solace are burning, as if freshly inflicted. It is only tolerable because of the immense power within us. Lesser beings would be feeling eternal pain, and death does not come easily to a vessel like this. Wounds endured during the war can add to this pain. We would not wish this punishment upon anyone. Life and eternal pain, a constant memory of their own death. They perish for your cause. Give them the rest they deserve. I don't know. An army of seers would be great for strategizing, but stealing their own future from them. That's wrong. On the other hand, bringing back the dead, I'm unsure. The pain would fuel their rage and make them stronger. They could eventually learn to manage it with medicine. At least they'd have a future. The seers certainly wouldn't. There must be something else we can do. Not if you wish to make use of this power. It's powerful when used but limited in scope. I'll help the king carry out whichever he decides. Right. I guess it's not my place to choose. I must be still adjusting to this change. Suddenly all eyes are upon me. I have no idea what to say or do. Eternal pain or robbing futures. Creating seers would ruin their minds after the war. They'd just sit in a chair while we fed them to remain alive. But an army of vessels? They'd feel nothing but excruciating pain. Not even death would come to free them from that pain. The body could get ravaged, but the power would still be inside, if only it would possibly cure them of this pain after the war was over. Or for that matter, I wish it were possible to preserve the seers' minds. There should be an apostrophe S. Or actually, yeah, apostrophe after the S. But neither option has a foreseeable cure. This is a choice involving a war. We needed an immediate boost in forces, and it seemed no cost was too high. What should I do? Let's see what Homegirl says. Thanks for nothing. Oh wait, homeboy, what about you? How could you, Fortem? Not only are you my boyfriend, but you're also my right-hand man. Well, Dominic's my right-hand man. So, I guess... Fortem, you're my left-hand man. Like... Well... I'm gonna make my final choice. I mean, I can't destroy the minds of these seers after the war. That just seems wrong. I'm kind of like the idea where we could create medicine or some way to mitigate the pain. But... I don't know. I mean, I can't create an army of vegetables, so... It just seems wrong. Either choice seems wrong, but... I mean, hey, maybe we can find some people who got, you know... I don't know. Create an army of monarch vessels. An army of monarch vessels would be the most useful. We'd need the rage that would motivate their every attack. The resilience of their body would also be helpful to our cause. An army of undying vessels seeking vengeance. We can only hope they'd accept this fate. Hopefully their suffering would be worth it. I make my choice known to my allies. I met with uncertain gazes as I expected. There was no right choice in this situation. Very well. So there we have it. What happens next? I will take the king to the idol and help. After that, we must reconvene in this war room. A strategy is required for this newfound army. They all nod and step closer to the table. I follow Solace out of the room to carry out my duty. As I leave, I can hear them planning and I feel hopeful. Troop morale has risen by 5%, so we're at... Oh, I have to save first. 10%. Okay. We will turn this defeat into a most profound victory. Under my leadership, we would witness our triumphant fall. I followed Solace back to the room with the spirit idol. It's dark and dim. With its death, the monarch was imprisoned no more. However, existing within the vessels in the blade, was that considered freedom? I wonder what would happen in a monarchy after this war. Their bodies are likely to be gone. What would become of them? I wonder if there's a way to reverse everything the Triumvirate had done. Silly seer, there's no infinity stones in this world. But there's no time to think about that. It's time to create our army. Much to our luck, before we begin, Milas arrived at the Rebel HQ. Alongside him was a massive amount of people from Valinor. His evacuation was successful. It meant far more soldiers. And it also meant a large number of volunteers. It wasn't much longer until the room was scattered with corpses. Just where Dominic wanted to bury them, but accessible to us. Part of me felt bad, condemning them to a future of pain and misery. War called for desperate measures, and this truly seemed like the best choice. Celos and I stand before the bodies taken in the gruesome sight. It was just like I thought. The blade is an extension of the wielder's mind. Celos told me how to wield it, and it shuts the bodies of the fallen with it. Almost like a knighting ceremony in the stories of old. I declared them vessels. But he also told me the effects wouldn't happen immediately. The corpses would need to be monitored for the next day or so. When they woke up, they'd be scared and very confused. After that, we make our way back to the war table. I can only hope things go as planned, for our future, for great justice. When we arrive, it seems like Dominic already has a strategy. Absolutely not. Ulrich, we have no other choice. Our forces require more than one major boost. Going to ALESTIA, we can convert them to our side. They don't want to be converted. They want blood, plain and simple. Oh, see, this is why you read books. What about Vivian and her army? Who? I tell him about the book I read in the tavern. In ALESTIA, there's a rebellion of sorts. A group who wants change in the way it's run. I've never heard of this. Apparently, they follow after ancient ideas. An ALESTIan legend that wanted to change the nation. So far, it seems like none have been strong enough to do so. It's also because strength always wins, plain and simple, and with strength and power, they don't want anything to change. Then they want to secure their own rule. ALESTIA is always the same. Well, the mainland has never reached out before, right? If we team up with them, yourself included, we could win. If that's not possible, then maybe we can cut a deal with Draco? Draco? He wants nothing more than to flex his power. He may rule over ALESTIA, but he's no ruler, trust me. Well, I think we may have a good opportunity for him, actually. What better way to show his strength than to dethrone gods? There's a couple of avenues to take here. We need to do this. Excuse my lack of enthusiasm, Dominic. I think there are more pressing matters at hand. We still need to decide what to do with him. Oh, I didn't know you could do that. You can click the middle mouse button and make the make the text box go away. Look at that! Look at that belt's hanging. Like, my goodness. He tells the Setor Salas, who shakes his own hand in return. We simply wish to fight and teach. Our legacy demands to be passed on. There you have it. I don't think there's anything else we can do. It won't be any harm to us, right? That's what we thought about the Honor Guard. Are you really going to gamble on the spirits again? What if there's a chance he's lying to us, Dominic? We have no reason to lie, and we do not appreciate this accusation. He's lightly dressed as well. Is ALESTIA where, like, all these people are from? Using the Honor Guard, we fortified these tunnels. It is thanks to us you survived this ordeal. Many of our citizens were sacrificed in order to do this. Controlling the Triumvirate's forces was taxing, to say the least. Then why did they kill almost all of us during the attack? Our control was strong, but not strong enough. It was easy for the Grand Inquisitor to overpower us. Until today, he had never set foot in these tunnels. We do not mind answering questions, but we do mind accused. Today I can't read. But we do mind being accused of wrongdoing. Everything we've done to help your cause. To what end? To the Triumvirate's end. Ulrich concedes, simply shaking his head. It seems there is a counter to all of his objections. I think we should trust him, Ulrich. He's answered many of our questions. Things make more sense now, wouldn't you say? He doesn't respond. However, Fortum steps forward. What should we call him, though? We do not require a name. You might think that, but you still need one. It's out of convenience, not necessity. Convenience? Yeah. Nobody really needs a name, it just helps us talk to one another, you know? Especially useful in battle, or while strategizing. Very well, we will think of a name. However, before much time passes, Les interjects. Howl. That's what Dominic said, right? Driven by the howls of countless spirits. It seems fitting given the circumstances. Valessa, we accept this moniker. However, we must discuss another matter. The strategizing you speak of. We wish to help. That's my job, actually. And look where it got you. Oh! Sick burn. What? Your blind faith in spirits caused all of this. Our judgment will not be clouded. We wish to take your place. Remember, you are no longer in charge. This is the king's choice. Hal turns to face me. We wish to be your advisor, Monarch. We've watched the world for almost an eternity. We know how the enemy works and thinks. It would be the wisest course of action. Dominic is responsible for this catastrophe. He would be unfit to give you advice in the future. That's absolutely untrue. In this world, we learn from our mistakes, Hal. We don't condemn others based on bad decisions. Perhaps that is why you are easily oppressed. There is no room for error in these final days. Perhaps in the future you can atone for this. I can tell they're about to get locked in a heated argument. To avoid this, I slam my hands down on the war table, startling them. A loud echo reverberates through the room as I assert my authority. I mean, but the problem with Domik is that he didn't know any better. That's the problem. I do agree, it's unfair to judge him based off bad decisions while given faulty intel. You give anybody fake, faulty intel, they're gonna lose. You control the information, you win the battle. Besides, I think the rebellion will be a little bit more comfortable if Domik retains some kind of high command, so... My new friend, I hope you'll forgive me for this, but I want Domik to be my advisor as he always has been, and always will be. I let them know that Domik would be my advisor. I agree with everything he said, and I still don't really know how. Being an advisor required both knowledge and teamwork. Very well. Thank you. They still stared at each other with evil eyes. I could tell animosity was growing between them. However, this was neither the time nor the place for that. Those matters aside, we still need to make our next move. There's an upcoming bowl in Alarinthia. It's held annually. The place is open for a few days only. We can go. It's likely Vivian will make a move against Drakuyo. If she does, we can use that as an opportunity to form an alliance. If she doesn't, we can seek out audience with Drakuyo. Either side would have a wealth of forces to offer. If we need their aid, we're going to win the final battle. We need their aid if we're going to win the final battle. I'll get the boats ready. We leave tomorrow morning. I'm sure Alex will be able to give us a capable ship. If he's going to make this ball, If we're going to make this ball, we need the best of the best. Ships are part of our terms, so I'm sure he'll be able to comply. He gathers up some papers and starts to walk away. Meet back here in the morning, all of you. We can go over any last-minute stuff before we leave. The rest, we'll have plenty of time to discuss on the voyage. We all nod at one another before leaving the room. I'm thankful that I'm able to get some sleep, however little. I make my way back to my room, constantly checking my back. They'd never catch us off guard again. Next time we fought, it would be their end. Hal has permanently joined your party. I enter my room and let a loud sigh. I can finally relax. As sure as my rest would be, it'd be better than no rest at all. I noticed I was followed, but I expected as much as for what happened. It was Howell. He approaches slowly, with resolve in his steps. However, he doesn't seem angry in any way. That was good, since I said it with Domik. We must express displeasure at your decision. Domik made a mistake, and that remains unpunished. The lives that were lost beg for justice. We are that justice. Domik is only believing in his spirits like we all do. Now that we know the truth, he will approach things differently. He would never intentionally lead us into danger. He's honorable. Honor? He crosses his arms, unimpressed. Honor is a term used to stay the hand in difficult situations, Monarch. When the final drop of blood must be spilled, and your honor stops you? What then? Is the future of the world on the shoulders of those so weak? He scoffs. Do not concern yourself with honor. The enemy does not, and this is why they win. Concern yourself with the correct actions, not the right ones. That is all the advice we have for you today, Monarch. But we do not trust Domik to make the right decisions in the future. The fact that he left the honor god alive is proof of that. He hesitates. This hesitation will not go away simply because he knows what we are. The truth of the spirit realm does not change the strategy on the war table. With that said, we will leave you be. Ruminate on this in the future, my king. He gives me a slight bow as a sign of respect before leaving. Being the Exodus wielder was intense enough, but being the monarch? Thankfully, I had the support of my friends. They would keep me strong. I lay down in bed, and it isn't much longer before I drift off to sleep. When I wake up, rested and refreshed, I head to the war room. Everyone's there as expected. It's time to get things moving. Domik approaches the war table, fiddling with wooden figures resting on top it. They represent different things. The figure for the rebellion he places on Alarinthia. Our next objective was clear. We would be sailing to the Far East to secure an alliance. Each year, Drakuyo holds a ball. Essentially, it's to show off its power. It's open to the public, which means Vivian will most likely make a move. I'd say it's either an assassination attempt or a tournament request. Oh, dang it. Take shots. Also, that first time doesn't count because I was intentionally checking my troop morale. So, to any of you who took an extra shot, you can pass on that one, on this one. I'd say it's either an assassination attempt or a tournament request. During the bowl, we will meet with both of them. Our goal is to secure an Alarinthian army to help us out. If we do this, our chance of success will increase tenfold. Each party, if they're willing, will likely request something in return. It may be impossible to avoid being caught up in Alarinthian politics. If it comes to anything extreme, you'll have Ulrich help us out. I trust there are no objections? Nobody raises a concern, but I can tell that Ulrich is upset. Good. We set sail immediately after this meeting. I've already arranged transportation with our pirate allies. It's a 24-hour voyage, so pack your essentials. Food and drink have already been pre-packed. None of us should go hungry or thirsty during the trip. And there are enough beds for all of us to sleep too. The voyage will be a nice time to get some relaxation. However, once we get to ALESTIA, we have to be serious. Our success directly affects the odds of surviving this war. We've ensured our comrades received a proper burial, the resting with the spirit idol, and we'll close off that passage. For their sake, please leave it undisturbed. They deserve rest. He inspects a piece of paper in his hand before continuing. However, the bodies you imbued with power have started to move. They will accompany us to ALESTIA and help our cause. Thankfully, they accepted this fate. There's no confusion. We have our army of vessels, Monarch. Hopefully you'll get to meet them soon. With all of that said, I think it's time to end this meeting. Are there any questions before we head to the shipyard? Remember, once we leave, we may not be back for a while. Fortum steps forward. What exactly happens at this ball? I'm not sure. Dancing and feasting, I'd imagine. Dracula wants to pamper everybody he can. That's his goal. If his people are happy, then there's less fighting over the throne. So basically one big party then. Incorrect. Awesome. The last party we were going to have was cancelled. Let's say we finally have your induction ceremony, eh, Seer? Except it's not for being a Seer. It's for being a king. It's all nod. We all nodded. It's all nod. That needs to be a new thing. It's all nod. We all nod at each other. It's true, my last ceremony was cancelled. It was Dracu's party, but we could celebrate for our own reasons. I'm gonna write that down. Y'all think I'm kidding, but it's all nod. Just try not to draw any attention to yourselves, alright? It may be a party, but ALESTIA's fate will change behind the scenes. Remember why they're there, and don't lose sight of our original goal. Of course. Fortum sets back satisfied. Why didn't Vivian make a move at any of the other parties? I mean to ask, what makes this year special? If we go there, and she ends up doing nothing? If that happens, then we focus on Dracu. At the end of the day, we still have an option. We're just planning for many possible scenarios. Alright. Very well. Dismissed. Let's pack our things and meet at the docks. We set sail in 3 hours, so don't be late. With that said, almost everybody rushes out of the room, except for Hal. He stays behind and eyes me down. Before I get ready to leave, I ask him what he wants. You've been given a room in the crew quarters. He stopped by and see us before you leave. It's important to learn more about you. He bows before leaving. Until then, Your Highness. He was definitely taking this monarch thing seriously, but given his culture and the power within me, it makes sense. I take one last look at the war table before heading out. The war table is used to track your relationships with each character. The amount of hearts indicate how many heart-to-hearts you have completed. When a character's heart gauge reaches 4, you can click on them to access a special scene. These scenes are required to earn each character's loyalty. The loyalty of your followers affects both morale and their fate. Do not neglect heart-to-heart conversations, or these special loyalty scenes. When you wish to depart for ALESTIA, return to the Mizeo docks. A new map icon will display by the ship at the shipyard. So I wonder if, like, you do the scenes and, like, there's one final, like, convo you do where, like, oh, look, the little guy dances, like. You know, it would be cute if, I don't know if you could do this in RPG Maker, but, or Rampi or whatever, but I don't know if, like, y'all ever played the Fire Emblem or Advance Wars series. Well, Fire Emblem does this thing where, like, when you put your cursor, I don't know about the newer games, but like the older, like, Game Boy Advance ones, when you put your cursor over a character, they would change, like, their stance slightly. So, like, let's say you have, like, a character with, like, a sword, and you're, like, doing a little thing, like, you put your cursor over them, and, like, and it's, like, they acknowledge that you're potentially selecting them, so, like, he'll, like, raise up his sword, and you're like, yeah. Or, my favorite one was the assassin. Like, you move your cursor over him, and he starts kind of, like, moving left to right, like, really quickly, like, oh, look at me, I'm so fast, like, I think that'd be cute to do. It would add, like, a little bit of personality to each of these. So it's like, you know, you put your cursor over, like, Ulrich, and, like, you know, maybe he, like, crosses his arms or something, or you put your cursor over Dominic and, like, he, like, raises his sword or something like that. I think it'd be cute, I think. Since it looks like you can change the animation when the cursor's... Anyways, we gotta see what Sean Chiplock is up to. Sylvie and his crew quickly made their way back to the docks, hiding in the alleyway much like before they gathered their bearings. Things hadn't gone according to plan. Their true mission was a failure. What happened, Sylvie? I thought you had everything under control. Get in, kill ALESTIA, and destroy the idol. Where's the porch reds? Or is it probably because they're in the alley? I don't know. It's not that simple, Halen. I tried my best and it wasn't a total failure. We've dealt them a blow which they'll never recover. And you think the Triumvirate will be okay with that? They don't tolerate failure. I'll get dragged down into this too. I don't want to suffer due to your inability to succeed, Sylvie. Let's not even mention the Blade of Exodus. You let them walk away with it? I can't believe you were so foolish. Don't worry. We'll get the job done. They'll be happy enough with Dominic out of the picture. It'll buy us time while we formulate another plan, Halen. If you're lucky enough to get another chance, you mean. You'll need a pretty good excuse to get away with this. Sylvie sighed, looking down at the ground. I hesitated, Helen. I had him in my grasp and I hesitated. There was something in my head saying not to kill him. The same instinct I always listened to and am praised for. That instinct has yet to let me down. I felt like he was meant to survive this battle. We'll have more chances to kill him in the future. Besides, with the condition I left him in, he'll be an easy target. Next time we cross paths, even a child could take him down. This isn't as bad as you think, Halen. Today we won. For your sake, I hope they buy that excuse. No, Halen, we must never tell them the truth. Tell them to see us slip through our grasp. I trust you to keep this silent for the time being. You want me to lie for you now? It's for the best. Just trust me. I'll do the same for you, Halen. Together we will acquire any lost honor. Fine, but next time I'll watch you. If you can't finish the job, then I will. There's no place for hesitation in time of war. Sylvie nods and Halen walks away. This leaves Sylvie alone with Shane. So how are you feeling? I'm fine. You look conflicted. I said I'm fine. Look, you killed Dominic, Shane. I can understand what you're going through. Oh, can you? Yes. I did the same thing in the past. Before I joined the Triumvirate, I killed them all. Lies and cheaters deserve no less of a punishment. You look so sad, though. Like, how do I know what you said was true? A face can say a lot more than words ever can. It was sad because he got caught, Shane. He thought you were dead, so he didn't expect it. You rose from the grave to deliver your vengeance. That is an opportunity he shall never have. He didn't hesitate to send you to your death, remember? There's no reason to give him courtesy he never gave you. Offering that olive branch is a good way to get yourself killed. There's no going back now, Shane. You're one of us. After what you did, you're their enemy for good. Really? Yes. But you are no longer an enemy of the Triumvirate. They will sing your praise and give you your every desire. The victory of this battle was all thanks to you, Shane. I'm not sure how to feel. Sometimes you need to act rather than react. Push those feelings aside and focus on survival. There are many rebels who will seek you out for revenge, and I expect you to show all of them the same treatment. Welcome to the Inquisition, Shane. The right side of history. Ooh. Alright. I can't, like, view, like... Is that a saw? Is there a saw on the table? I just noticed that. Oh no, that's a sword and a scabbard. Okay, it almost looked like a saw from my angle. Alright, let's... Where's the choices here? Like, or do I have to go, like, out into Museo to see that? So let's go, anyways, let's head up the crew court. Oh no, that's personal court. Oh! There's another shot. I keep thinking right-click summons the map for some reason. Crew quarters, here we go. So it looks like the only one we can hit up is Howell. Enter Howell's room, and I notice him standing with his back to me. He's in a corner of the room with his hand pressed against the wall. He's mumbling to himself, and I do my best not to startle him at all. Bodies everywhere, screams for help, blood flowing, corpses held tightly in their arms. They cry for the lost, but the lost do not answer, for they have no voice. He feels shame, like he's responsible for all of this, but soon after he feels nothing at all until he rises again. Vengeance controls his mind. It drives his clouded judgment. We see the future as expected, but also the past. We see your death, Monarch, even if it didn't happen. Why does time play such tricks on our memories? He turns to face me, so he knew us here all along. Oh, I was kind of just reading that as if he was like in a trance. I was trying to at least, you know, like things were just coming to him and he was saying them. Or these memories are perhaps echoes. That is what I wish to talk to you about, Monarch. Or am I just overwhelmed, but not in the usual sense? Tell me more, I love the help. We expected you to say that. We've heard it before. It's almost like you had no other choice. Interesting. Things are different now that we're free. So different. Exiting that prison has taken a toll on our minds. In there, our sight was limited, but not anymore. Instead of just the future, we see everything. We see the past, and the consequences of actions not taken. The possibilities are infinite, and this is hard to even fathom. We must narrow our vision. These details are unimportant. We may not be much use at the moment, Monarch. It will take some time to adjust these new circumstances. If we chose to adjust, that is, further evaluation is required. Everything is important to consider, even if it didn't happen. We see a past where we failed to save you, Monarch. You fell to your wounds, and ALESTIA had no hope at all. Dominic, too. The failure of the rebellion was certain. Pyrrhus was to help, but not led by the same leader. Oric sacrificed himself to use the blade and create an array, the Monarch vessels, or perhaps the created seers. Why do you say that seeing things is important? It is death and carnage, the loss of all hope, and ultimately death. Only one thing remains constant in all of this, the blade of Exodus. Learning from past failures is how we become stronger and smarter. We saw you say this as well. It led to ruin. Our culture was always focused on avoiding the wrong future. We never thought about seeing numerous visions of the past. But we are sure that we see these for a reason. Perhaps there's a secret to find, or a link hidden between them all. As we travel, we do our best to learn about these visions. We simply wish to make you aware that they exist. It is the opportunity of everything we've ever encountered. At the end of the day, so are you. A huge anomaly. I'm not sure what he means, since he speaks so cryptically. But he's having visions of different pasts, not just the future. That'd be jarring to me as well. I only ever saw the future. But it's almost always a future that we wanted to avoid. How could you see a different past? That was always set in stone. Let alone past so different as to detail the deaths of my comrades. That'd be a reason. He was right. But it's unlikely we'd ever find an answer anytime soon. He'd have to put up with this burden for a little bit longer. It pains us to see visions of your death, Monarch, future or past. It's something we wish to avoid. You carry our legacy. You are everything to us. We request some time alone, if you give us the honor. We will do our best to focus on more positive things. He turns his back to the wall and places his hand upon it. Sharing an apple in a back alley, a growing bond. Alcohol brings forth childhood dreams, dreams of change. You grow close to a comrade despite their two-faced nature. A man seeks family to replace the one he never had. There's a girl who finds the strength to succeed in her friends. We wonder where we fit amongst this group. We hope we can. He looks down at the floor, and I was thinking there, he pretty much just hit on every member in our party so far. So the two-faced person, I'm pretty sure he means pro, which I'm still not sure if he's gonna. Maybe that vision wasn't, that vision was fake then. Maybe because it was the triumvirate were, if they're manipulating visions, then I don't know. I don't know if the visions from the blade are the same as the visions that we get in the wild, so to speak, so. For now, it's probably best to leave him be. He seems overwhelmed. In this situation, I would be as well. He has to process a lot of new information. If I can find a place in all of this, so can he. Perhaps we'd have more time to talk on the boat ride. I'll leave for the docks. Confident to help him more in the future. I want to check something real quick. Oh, dang it. I should map the map screen to like the right click if I can even do that. Excuse me. Ooh, sorry. I'm gonna see something real quick. Let's go to the war table. Oh, you can't. That would be cool if like you were able to replay through these, like through the choices that you did. But anyways, so I guess we better head to the docks. I'm pretty sure that's like the end of this build, but yes. Oh no, only this one. Because I'm pretty sure those were purity and corruption choices, because now we're at 30% corruption and 20% purity. Okay, so they balance each other out, alright. Yeah, also I wanted to say, my thoughts on what purity and corruption have been changed. Yeah, Clays wasn't BSing. He definitely meant to make these different. Like, I'm kind of thinking it's not purity and corruption in the way that we see it, but the way the Triumvirate sees it. It's almost, if you'll indulge my theory here for a second, are any of you, all of you are probably familiar maybe with the story of Genesis, but if you need a refresher, so God creates the earth in 7 days. No, he creates the earth in 6 days, and the 7th day he takes a rest. Then he creates mankind in his image. First he creates a man. Man is lonely, so he takes his rib from the man and creates a woman, Eve. He puts them in the Garden of Eden, and everything's all hunky-dory fine. They are, in a sense, pure. They have limited bouts of free will, but, they pretty much do their own thing. And then what happens is, God's like, hey, so, that tree right there is the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Don't eat from it. You'll die. Anything else you can do. You can eat anything, you can do whatever you want. Take care of the animals, just don't eat from that tree. So, this is how the story goes. Eve gets tempted by the snake, she bites from it, she gains knowledge of good and evil. That's important too. A lot of people will say, oh, it's the tree of knowledge, you want to keep us stupid, but it's like, it's the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And Adam eats from it as well, and God sees them as impure because they disobeyed him, but also because they gained a knowledge of good and evil. They were, in a sense, corrupted now. They gained more, in a way, I guess you could say they gained more free will than he wanted them to. Although, basically, it's, this idea of the more you learn, the more you become away from what your creator wants, the more corrupt you may seem to become, or something like that. I think that's where I was going with this. Yeah. Because although in the biblical story, it was always kind of certain God would give us free will, or give, people free will, that the Christian God was intending on giving people free will. They were free to choose from the. But that's kind of like what I'm hitting at, is that when we get away from the nature that a created entity has for us, in a way we become corrupted in their eyes. So why would it be any different with the Triumvirate? It's not that we're becoming corrupt, evil people. We're just corrupted from their vision of what they think purity is. They're pure, they don't make any decisions, they do what they say. They don't have to worry about, right, wrong, whatever, they just do as they do. Anyways, sorry for that. I was kind of stream of conscious thinking right there for a second, but let's see if we can leave. Kind of access boat in this build. I thought that was the case. So that's it. That's it for Act 3. I was pretty intense. I was not prepared, but bravo, Mr. Clace Husky. This was excellent. It's definitely worth the wait, I feel like. I mean, it was quick. It was only an hour and 30, I think, when I got through everything. But it was, I was not ready for that. That was great. And now we have even more pieces being set on the field, and I am eager to see how things turn out in Act 4. So, that's all I really got. I think I pretty much spoke my mind on everything, and if not, then I'll probably make my own theory crafting video or something like that. I do have a plot summary in mind too, make a quick plot summary video that kind of goes over everything. Although I'm not sure if I'll ask about when, I'll poke around about Act 4 and see when that's coming out, and then I'll do my little, based off the information I get there, I'll think about doing that. But anyways, it's time for your favorite moment of the video, my end closing spiel. So, of course, my name is Ross Joestar. Thank you guys for joining us. If you like the video, please like it. If you want to show other people my nonsense, don't forget to share it and leave a comment. for anything you want to leave a comment for involving the game and my terrible performances doing voices. All that stuff helps out. And don't forget to subscribe and become a Dazzler today if you haven't already. And if you subscribe, hit that little bell, you'll become a Ringling Dazzler, so you can keep updated on whenever I do videos, because I kind of sporadically do videos whenever I feel like it. I am trying to get a little bit more concrete, but you never know when I'll just throw out something random, like the PsychoCon video. That wasn't planned, by the way. I kind of just like threw that out there because I was playing around with cheat codes in MAME. But yeah, and we also have a Ko-fi and Patreon if you wish to support us. Please. I don't have really many rewards in mind, but hey, if you guys like would be interested in what kind of cool rewards you'd like to see from this channel. I know we're small, but we're always thinking of ways to do cool things for our supporters that we have now and any other people who we'd gain in the future. Anyways, enough of my rambling on. This game kind of put me in a bit of a meditative position to think about what just happened. So, my name is Russell Joestar, and I will see you later. You thought I was going to say see you later, didn't you? No, not this time. I'll see you later.